up, everybody? Welcome to Let's All
Hurrah!
Yes, that's my dudes with us today. I've got Simeon and I've got Phillips here, and we're gonna be making something called
Meat pie.
meat pie. It's
Nigerian meat pie.
what he said. Talking about something that is what happened. Well, it's already happened to me, but they're about to go into it. It's something called what is it? Can you guess with that shirt on? College. I've already finished college about 2 years ago, and I've got Phillips, who is brand new in college, and I've got Simeon, who is
Going to college.
So we're gonna talk about all things college, all things adulting. I've got some questions for them, and then they've got some questions for me. I think I've got some items over here. We've got the meat, we've got some flour, butter, spices that's mixed onions, salt, and I said butter already? Butter and some olive oil. Cook the meat. This is the meat, and we're gonna cook it. So people like sometimes put carrots in their stuff, but I'm not. Simeon's going first. Your first question.
My first question.
Tell everybody where you're going to school and where you're going to be studying.
I am going to West Texas A&M University as a freshman into automotive engineering. Why? Because I love cars. Like, I wouldn't be doing that if I didn't love cars. I'm fascinated with the idea of all what goes into the making of a car, like the different parts that come together, the science in making a car to make that final and beautiful product that we all call a car.
So come at the back. This is me the
I can't have. Okay, so my name is Phillips. My name is Phillips. I'm from Cypress, Texas, and I am the loudest and the proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2023. I'm an architecture major.
I feel very old, if you know what I mean.
I'm an architecture major, and that really interests me because like in my childhood, I would understand walking into a building and having a different like feeling because of how it's designed. I wouldn't know it at the time, but it's really because of how it's designed, like how the spaces work. And so like as I was growing up, I guess I got really interested in figuring out how different spaces make people feel and how to make someone comfortable in your space. So the aspect of design and how it works for people in humanity, that's what really got me into architecture, and that's where I'm going with my life so far.
And that's why these are my favorite boys in the whole entire universe.
Wait, let me say one more thing.
There we go. There's more.
I'm a deep thinker, and I really hope to impact lives and, as a Christian, bring more people to God through what I do.
He's actually
That's
a
what I
really
think.
deep thinker. Very
Deep
mature.
thinker.
Very
Very
mature
deep
for his age. But so I thought like the best way to start this channel is kind of start where we all think adulting starts, which is college, right? And the cool thing is I'm already like 2 years post college. Y'all know that already or don't, but FYI. And Phillips is about a sophomore, right?
Sophomore.
And Simeon is about to start college. So I thought, well, let's just start with all the questions we all have when we're entering this fun stage. So Simeon is up first, and I want to ask him, like, what is he looking forward to the most in this new season of life? Tell him.
I'm just looking forward to going to chase my dreams. I'll just put it that way. I get to go do what I want to do. Basically, that's what I'm looking forward to. Chase my own dreams. Where's everybody else?
Okay, guys, so you're gonna see in the video below, we're gonna have like the steps of what we're doing. So we're actually we're cooking the meat right now, and I just added some spices to it. So I'm gonna follow up on your question. What's most scary about this new season of life for you?
That's a deep question.
Or I guess most challenging.
All right, so I always hear people say, "Do not be scared to fail," right?
Okay.
I hear that a lot, but the truth is,
You gotta be a little bit.
you gotta be a little scared of
A failure?
to fail, because
Okay.
my biggest fear is not to fail, but my biggest fear is to end up not successful.
The next step, since we already have our meat cooking, is to make the dough for the meat pie. And also, guys, just it's hard to record my process of cooking because I just typically do it like
Everything at the same
everything at the same time. So I'm sorry if it's not like cohesive. There are tons of meat pie videos on YouTube. I can put some below to find them. We're just having a talk and I'm making food while we're at it. All right?
We're making.
Yeah, right. We're making food. Okay. So next step is to put the flour. We're gonna mix some of the things we have. So we got 3 cups of flour. Dump that in there. Salt and baking powder. You're thinking really hard, sir.
I'm not.
I can feel your thinking.
You see the gears turning.
I can.
I'm not. Maybe I am. Maybe.
So I just dumped some baking powder and some salt.
Can I do the next one? What is it? This
No, that's the extra flour, dude. The next thing is gonna be to do this to mix it.
Am I gonna do it?
You can do it.
I want to just pour it in. I
You
don't
can,
wanna-
well, come stay here and pour it. While the gears are going really hard for this guy.
Alright, so to answer the
Okay, he's
question,
ready. Go ahead.
personally, I take challenges head on. I'm not scared of challenges. I'm a competitive person and I'm not scared to be challenged. I'm not really looking at the challenge perspective to it. But what I am worried about is not ending up successful. And I know people usually say do not be scared to fail.
There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but there's a lot of pressure too, especially with younger brothers. I have 5 younger brothers.
You're gonna skip over that
And-
little fact.
You know, to set the prime example, the pressure that's on me, it's just a pressure to not fail. But you know, at some point in life, you're going to fail, and I'm not worried about that. And I'm just worried about not ending successful. Don't let me say worried about, but my biggest fear would be not ending up successful at the end of everything that I, put my whole body, soul, spirit, mind into.
Because your brothers are looking up to you.
Yeah, something like that.
So you were more scared of the pressure than the actual.
No, I'm not scared of the pressure. That's not it. It's just a prayer. God, do not let me end up a failure. Basically.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
That's basically it.
Did you feel that way when you were going to college, Phillips?
Oh.
Are you in the frame?
Yeah. I think that's a very real fear. It's probably worse for him because he has people looking up to him. But
And you're just the baby in the house.
But I had examples basically, and my issue wasn't like being scared of failure. It was more of a not meeting the expectations that's set for me.
Ooh.
So that's there's a lot of different levels of what you can be afraid of going into college. But I think the idea is that you make it your own experience, and it's not you don't really have anything to prove except to yourself.
What kind of expectations do you think were waiting for you?
What do you mean? It was you.
Oh. Okay. Whatever. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we're seeing two things play out here where it's like for you adulting, entering that phase is like I have to make I'm setting the you're setting the standards, and then you're like
I have to meet the
I have to meet a standard. Interesting. Okay, so that brings me to was that your challenge going to college, or what was
I think
it?
so. That was, the rest of it I wasn't really worried about. It was just kind of having, in terms of, was it scholarliness? Education was the word?
Oh, like the education part of it.
Yeah, it was
I
more
see
like
what you
I have to meet this specific.
I wasn't that great in college.
I know, but you didn't know that.
I just want to say, for the record, in college I was not that scholarly great. I wouldn't say. So then, tell us, what did you find out then? Were your expectations sort of met, or
Did I
were you
meet the
surprised?
expectations?
Were you surprised?
Once I started, I realized that that's not that wasn't really a thing. That was
Okay.
just in my head.
Okay.
It's like I would talk to my parents and they'd kind of reassure me that and you would reassure me too that you're gonna have bad times, bad classes, and all that stuff, and that's not really something to be worried about, because the only expectation that you have to meet is kind of in your head.
Right.
So once you realize that that's not no one's yeah, you gotta do this, well, unless you have parents that are like that, then that's on you. But well, not on, you know what I mean. But for me specifically, I just realized that wasn't the things that I needed to be worried about.
When y'all think about college, right? And like this, you're excited because you've never been in it before. You're like, oh my gosh, this is a new phase of life, and you're kind of in it right now. And you think about it relative to what you want to accomplish in life. How much of your time is focused on like why I'm here versus like I'm in this place?
I think,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I think that's where like we differentiate. I feel like Hugh's probably
Yeah, I'm more of a why I'm here person.
yeah,
Okay.
and I'm kind of more of like this is what I have to do now to get to where I want
To
to
where
be
I wanna
tomorrow.
be.
Like so, I'm more living in the moment. So that's kind of like really interesting. Like it's kind of good that you have the both of us because we look at things differently.
Yeah, I'll say for me, like I was kind of clueless. Honestly, like I think I didn't even like. I would think of why I'm here, like at the beginning of each semester. I'm like, all right, let's make a 4.0 this semester. This semester, like, oh my gosh, this class is so hard. This is so hard. Okay, so
And I mean, I have like goals like set each semester. Like, but it's more like a game plan. Like, I'll do this so I can do this so I can do that. But then I'll have a plan B. But it's not like I only think about the end product. But I feel like you're a lot more focused if you want to talk about that, about how you're a lot more focused about your end goal.
yeah, what was it like for you in high school? Having that focus, having that mindset.
In high school, I was
Because you play sports too, huh?
yeah. I didn't take chances that would mess up my you could say future, but the reputation or the standard that I set for myself. So I wouldn't take chances to mess that up. I was always head on. What do I need to do to reach where I wanted to be? I really didn't live in the moment, especially in high school.
I feel like I can definitely see that you didn't do that in high school.
Cause to be honest, I didn't like high school. I wanted
Does
to.
who like high
I
school?
wanted to be
Bro,
over
I
high
like
school and
high
go to
school.
college.
Except
immediately.
him, he likes high school.
I would
didn't-
go back.
Every day I went to school, I was like, all right, so what can I do to
To get out of here.
to make the process of going to college easier and faster? That was every day in high school for me.
No lie though, I feel like
I
you didn't really live in high school.
I didn't.
And I feel like I was that way because when I went to high school, it was weird because we just came from Nigeria. Everything was strange, and all I thought about was like, I need to get out of here. This is strange. This is weird. But then when I got more involved, I kind of settled in a little bit. But then I was like, I just want to get out. Like I'm done with this. This is ridiculous.
I think that's funny because
And
Well, go ahead.
because I wasn't like that. Like basically because I had you already went ahead. So our parents were already.
Yes.
They were a lot more like, I guess, lenient and like allowed me to do more things. Speaking of parent,
This is our mom.
she's right here
She's hanging out.
trying to slide.
You know what? I want to talk about that for a second. About like picking your future careers being African. So if you're African here, you know the whole thing. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, be an engineer. And I want to talk about that with y'all. Like, how much of a pressure do you feel to pick your career based on what your parents are thinking?
You wanna go?
Yeah, you go first.
from the get-go, I knew my dad when you have that father-son speech.
Father, son, speech.
And he would always end it with, I want you to grow to be a good lawyer, a doctor, or engineer, and something like that. I feel like every parent wants their children to be successful.
Successful, yeah.
So it's not a bad thing that you want your child to be successful and be a lawyer and a doctor, but it's just that pressure that you put on them.
Sorry to interrupt. I think we kind of screwed up a little bit.
How
So
much
we're gonna
water?
just put some water. That's too much.
So
It's not doing.
I actually know that my dad wanted me to be a doctor,
Really?
but
I would have never thought.
because the day I told him and I said, Dad, I want to be an engineer, it was like, why?
Interesting.
He was like-
to be fair, I agree with.
Yeah, he's
I
right.
100% agree with parents on that note. That like because when they think of your career, they're thinking of like what is going to long-term benefit my child. So for example, right now during COVID-19, full transparency, I feel like those who work in the medical field, like their jobs are secured, right? Like, but then other fields may or may not be secured. And so parents are kind of like always, and they're like, okay, let me make sure like my kid has a job that's gonna be, safe. You know what I mean? It's okay, guys. This is a work in progress. It's a work in progress, all right? But I think I added something I was supposed to add, but it's fine. It's okay. It's fine. Continue.
Yeah, so you just explained it to me that way, talking
I should
about,
put it on the table.
you know. But
But
the
like-
most important thing is what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Like, would I be happy cutting people up and, you know, trying to fix the liver problem they have or something? I'm
Okay,
not
let's
sure,
talk
but
about that though. Let's talk about like what makes you happy. For me, the idea of what makes you happy is not something that I came out of high school knowing. I just kind of did what I was supposed to do. Like I wasn't really thinking of career in terms of like what's gonna make me happy. It was just like that's what I was supposed to do at that point, right? So at what point did you guys start thinking career in terms of like let me do what's gonna make me happy? At what point?
I think for me,
I think my hair is falling apart, isn't it?
oh, you want to cut?
Everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Bara.
Let's Talk Bara.
We had a big break because a couple things happened. My hair fell out, and then I messed up real big time on the dough. And thankfully, to my sweet, sweet, sweet brother, he fixed it. Pretty much finished the dough. We're gonna fill it up now and ask a few more questions to the boys. I think we're talking about like happiness and why, like asking them sort of when they chose their career, what are they thinking about like what's gonna bring them happiness or what's mom and dad wants. So, who was talking?
Okay, so I was saying that what like I went through wasn't that I wanted to have something that would make me happy, because honestly I didn't know entirely what I was gonna be into. I knew I was like interested in architecture, but I was like worried that I wasn't gonna be good at it, or that I was gonna get there and it was just gonna be really difficult and it wasn't gonna be my thing. So what ended up happening to me was that like I started and then I realized that like this is actually something that I'm really interested in and I want to keep pursuing. So I feel like something that like we can keep in mind is that we don't necessarily have to go in like knowing this is exactly exactly. You don't have to go in knowing what's gonna make you happy, and like you can use like maybe your first semester or something to find what makes you happy, because that's kind of what's working for me right now.
I totally wanna like hop on that and say I wish I went to college with that mentality. Kind of went in with a very closed mind almost with what I wanted to do, which sometimes is good. It's not a bad thing to have like your eyes set on what you want to do, but at the same time I think it's totally okay to think of this time of your life as like exploratory. Like, you know, you want to explore things that you might like, and then give yourself a chance to explore, right? And then like also I changed my major, I think, well, just one time. And I was initially scared that it would be like labeled bad, and I think sometimes being African plays a little into that. a little or maybe a lot into that, but it's totally fine to, I think, take the time to explore and see what you want to do, and then like as Philip said, like as you go, you know, figure out if you like it or not. So this is part of meat pie's process. It's a long process. But it's worth it. So we're gonna roll the dough out, essentially cut out like circles, and I'm having the boys do it because helpers in the kitchen. And then you start filling it. We'll start filling it with the finished product of the meat. So that's the meat. And I know, meat pie normally has like potatoes and like what else? Carrots. But we're keeping it simple today with just the meat because cabbages. What?
He said it, not me.
Joe.
Okay, quick question. Let's ask the people. What do y'all put in y'all's meat
Answer
pie?
in the comments down below.
What he said. Well, you subscribe to the channel. Answer us the question.
While also liking and sharing.
What he said. But what do y'all put in y'all's meat pie? And actually, what do you think is a good meat pie? When y'all hear the word adulting, what comes to mind?
Taxes.
Why does taxes come to mind?
I guess like that's just one of the things that you realize that we're told that you have to know how to do as an adult, but no one really teaches us how to do it.
And at this point, we had a ton of distractions in the kitchen, and we decided to just continue rolling up the meat pie. And now I'm going to continue asking Simeon, what does adulting mean to him?
Adulting is the application of wisdom to everything that you're going to do. That's what adulting is to me. So you might be 25 years old and you might still not have adulted. Adulting is maturity that comes with wisdom.
I feel like you do have a very unique story though, Simeon, because you've pretty much like had to grow up so quickly. You're looking back now into the past 4 years you've been in college. What do you want to mark your experience in college?
I want to look back at college and see that
There you go. Yeah.
I inspired and affected as much and many people as possible.
What else?
I want people to miss me. I want people to say he has impacted
This school.
the spirit of this school. That's what I want my legacy to be.
That's awesome. So we ran out of filling for the dough.
That's because you added 3 spoons instead of 2.
What I want to look back on is probably like, I want to look back and be able to say that like I did everything that I wanted to do. Like I did everything that I could. Because I feel like looking back on high school, there's a lot of like, not regret necessarily, but kind of like I could have done this or I could have been that. You know, I could have joined this organization or specialized in this thing or whatever. And I really didn't take as many opportunities that I should. I want to look back and think that all the opportunities that were provided to me, that I took them like to the fullest of my ability. And similar to what he said, in just a slightly different vein, I want to be able to say that I like put as much joy in as many people's like lives as I could over the years. Because for me, like if I can make someone happy, that's really what makes me the happiest.